everyone. This is a mid-morning special because we're going to have a bit of a tea break, and we're going to talk a little bit about the Spice Experience box, which we've been doing so much with in the past few days, or past few months. But today is really special because we're going to be able to look at how spices are used in different teas. And to join me in this amazing little experience is Fatema from the Chai Room, and I'm just going to add her in now. Or for me, rather, a few cups of chai and a few different flavors. And we're just going to talk a little bit about the flavors and how the Chai Room uses spices locally. Hi, Fatema, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. So I've got my whole layout. I've got about 5 different flavors of the Chai Room tea. I did a few tastings before, and I've saved 3 to do with you.
Fantastic.
Right.
No, I sent you the whole lot, and I thought, oh, let's just go with it, really, because there was quite a few to get through. We were trying to work out which ones would be.
I know. And I was so excited when I got all the samples, because I've got about 5 more that I can try later.
Excellent. That's always good to have a reserve. That's what I say.
Yeah, that's it. So what I did try before, and I'm going to flip my camera over because I've done a really great presentation on how it looks.
I know, it's awful, isn't it, on these? Because you kind of start off with this, oh, wow, look at that. Oh, my goodness, that's amazing.
So these are all of the different chais that I've got to chat with you about today. And I might keep the camera upside down just so that you can actually see the chais. And I think I'm probably horizontal, so let me fix that. There we go. That's a bit straighter, I'm sure.
Wow, that's beautiful. What a lovely presentation there. Goodness. You spent a lot of time and effort on this.
So this is the one that I tried first, which is the Saffron, Cardamom, and Rose blend.
Yeah.
And I absolutely loved it because I could identify all 3 of those flavors individually.
Oh,
so I thought that was really, really nice. And the other one that I tried before, and I'm going to scoot over here, is the roasted wattle seed. And this, as you very clearly identified to me as well, is very chocolatey. But what I loved with it is I did it with milk as suggested, and it was extremely smooth, which was very nice because I've never had this spice before. So just the fact that it was so smooth and easy to drink, and it didn't put me in a, ooh, what is that kind of flavor? It just went, ooh, that's easy to drink.
Exactly. And I think that's the lovely thing about the wattle seed, is that it's such it's almost like it's such a neutral spice in terms of, you just like with the Indian spices, you can take it across to sweet, you can take it across to savory, and I think it's quite often used in savory dishes. But to then pair it with something sweet like the carob, and then the chai spices coming through, I think it just really gives it that lift. And as you know, with the spices, just to get that balance right is so important. And it's not about overpowering, it's about being able to identify all of them. So I'm so glad that you know that, because it's a tricky one, because a lot of people don't know what wattle seed is. So to be able to...
And I'm probably one of those, because I looked it up when I got the flavors. I mean, I knew of wattle seed, I've just never played with it or done anything with it in my cooking or experience. So it was nice to kind of go look it up and then taste it. Because it's so, like, with spices, I feel everything's very instinctual. Like, you kind of, once you know what the flavor's like, you'll taste it on your tongue when you're using it in anything. So that was a really good one. So now the other ones that I've got here are the Lemon Myrtle native chai. So that's the blend
one. So it's rolled and infused in a coconut nectar, which really kind of cuts through that sort of sharpness. Even though Lemon Myrtle doesn't have any citral in it, that's why it works so well with milk as well, because you don't have that citrus. It's just and it just translates really well with with the spices and the tea, and it's been getting a lot of traction, that one, actually. What did you think of it?
Well, I haven't tried it yet, so
we've got some nice comments here from some people.
Yeah. I think I get a really nice, nearly honey, lemon honey kind of flavor to it.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what it's actually, if that's what it's supposed to be, but that's what I get.
And we deliberately didn't use, well, I didn't use honey for that fact that it would overpower the lemon myrtle. The coconut nectar is very subtle. It sits underneath that flavor, and it just gives it a sweetness and a very malty sort of gentleness to the actual spices. And you know, like I speak about spices as if they're like my friends. You know, I sort of know all the characters. I know what they all give to each other. So, you know, knowing those also sweetness and which ones to balance with them. And I've always used coconut nectar as opposed to an agave or anything, because I find that really fits well with chai and the spices that we traditionally use. So,
and it's so interesting because lemon myrtle is actually an Australian spice.
Yes.
And it's lesser known because not everyone has as much experience with native spices. And there's a few things coming up, but we don't really know a lot about it. And I've used and tasted lemon myrtle on fish dishes, which I really enjoy.
That would be amazing.
Yeah. So to have it in a tea is really different.
It's different, and a lot of people associate with sort of fresheners and sort of essential oils, and you know, something that you'd walk into a spa and you'd smell but not necessarily ingest. So to have it in that way, and something that you could drink quite regularly, is it's a very refreshing blend, and it's really nice black as well as white. Actually, it's like Lucy was saying, it's a bit like a lemon meringue. You know, when you have it with milk, it's a very creamy.
And I mean, I think in my mind, I think of chai, which is the Indian masala chai, as the only thing that you should have with milk, and everything else I feel like you should generally just steep. But you know, I did the Wattlesea one with the milk this morning, and that was really lovely. So I think I might be open to trying different flavors with milk now, even though traditionally my mind says it should only be chai that has to go with milk.
Well, exactly. That's I've tried to create all the chais that you can have it with milk for that exact reason, that you know, chai is made with milk, as we knew growing up, and that's all we knew. So, you know, I want to introduce these exciting flavors, but I want people to be able to enjoy the richness of it with milk, because I love my tea with milk, most definitely. But there are times when I don't want milk, so you know, with some of the other blends, it does lend itself to having just without.
That's it. So what flavors are you trying this morning with us?
This morning I have the Rooibos, which is, I love this one, I really do. And you know, it's a bit of a hidden one, and we don't, just because it's just the spices that we've used in this also incorporate some unusual, yes, exactly that one. So it's here, and it's a sticky blend with honey. And I deliberately did that with honey because, you know, everyone does like the Rooibos. I've got a lot of feedback that people like it with a touch of honey, and this is just enough. So I've got some ginger, I've got the cardamom, got obviously all the traditional chai spice, and we put some citral, some orange peel in there as well. And I do add a touch of turmeric and a touch of carob, just because, you know, they just all really work so well together. So when you drink it, it's, I don't know. So you got the Rooibos, and then you get that sort of very gentle sort of ginger sensation, and then the citrus kind of just adds in that extra bit of freshness to it. So it's fresh, it's delicious, and it's a treat, and you can have it any time of day, and it doesn't have any caffeine in it, which I find a lot of customers are finding that they want chai and they want all that sensation, but they're worried about the caffeine. So
especially because you want to drink them later in the day, and you want to drink chai before you go to bed at night, so you know, not having the caffeine is a big bonus.
Exactly. And then the rosemary and fennel as well. And this one, again, with milk or without milk. And I have actually brewed it.
Talk about the ones that I have here. So the other one that, oh, there you go. Yeah, your screen just froze there for a second, but that's all right. So I was just
sorry. I just prepare myself enough for all those other duties that we do in the day. Anyway, so here we go. So I'm just pouring, you can see that gorgeous liquor, which is so fresh and golden, and that's to do with the beautiful Assam and Ceylon tea that I use as a balance. So I use 2 single orange teas.
This is the rosemary one.
And fennel. And so it just, yeah, exactly right. And then if I can show you what it looks like, and I use the native rosemary as well, so that's grown here.
Yeah.
It's in northern New South Wales. So you can see it's just really
Wow.
long and lovely. And then the fennel is also grown here. And then we've got the chai spices. So, you know, it's just, I use
Your
the
job
spice.
must be so fun. Just,
Oh my
you
God,
know.
I love it. Oh, hello. I don't know what happened there. We kind of froze a bit there.
Yeah, and I dropped my
Yeah.
tea in the process, so that's not great.
That's what happens on a tea break. You're allowed to have these little accidents, and then you have another tea break to get over that tea break.
I know, and my beautiful presentation now looks like it's washed.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh,
No, that's okay. No, that's fine. So I was just gonna say before, so your job is so super fun because you get to keep blending and tasting and blending some more and tasting some more. So it's it's continually acting funny. I'm going to quickly show you some of the other teas that I have blended here or steeped here, simply because I think Instagram doesn't like me this morning and might disappear on me. So
getting very excited. I think it's a bit overloaded.
I know, can't handle so much spice. So the other flavor that I'm trying today is the turmeric one, and I'm gonna flip this over without trying to kill myself or the tea.
Are you there?
This
Oh,
is,
there you are.
yeah.
I'm sorry.
This is
Is you freezing or me freezing? Somebody's freezing.
this is the turmeric blend.
Oh, yeah.
And I absolutely love turmeric generally because it's also one of the things that we've got in our spice box, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But
Yes.
I'm going to try some of that. Yeah.
And is it you? Did you also do that? Did your mum also used to give you turmeric and honey when you were little on a spoon?
Turmeric and honey. I say it all the time. Half a spoon of turmeric powder in 1 spoon of honey. Last thing before you go to bed at night. Honey will help soothe your throat. All your sore throat problems are gone.
And you know what? My kids, when they were little, and they still love it, they'd say, "Mama, I want haldi. I want some haldi and honey." You know, because they just used to love it so much. They thought it was like a little sweet for them. So it was like a nighttime treat. I need my haldi and honey, mommy. Even in the summer, you know, they just like, fine, take it.
I used to put just the plain, the turmeric powder. And for those of you who are not familiar with it, I'll see if I can pull one out real quick. Here we go. So in the spice box, we have this turmeric powder.
Perfect.
Yeah. So I used to put just a pinch of it in the milk for the kids in the winters, and they kind of adapted to the taste of it, which was really good. And then it's something that they like.
They really do. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And that's great. When you introduce your children to spices from a young age, it really helps them just broaden their palate. And they're so much more open to trying things. Like my children will eat spicy foods, you know, and in talking, you know, chili as well as just spice in general. And it's nice because then they'll be willing to try other cuisines. So, you know, wherever we go, if it's Indonesia or we go to Italy or we go to wherever, you know, it's just a really important thing to introduce them to just really young, I think. And that's where the spice box would come. As well as the
very handy, and I'll get to that in a minute. So the other one that I've got today is, which one have I got here? What did I tell you I was tasting? I've dropped everything. I've dropped everything, and I don't know what I've got in front of me.
So we've had some comments as to where to buy the brands, and you can buy them online. We do have some stores, but online is the best place really for both of us really. And you sell your spice boxes online too,
Yeah,
Yeah.
so just on the website, and there's links in both of our Instagram bios, you'll be able to get to the shop. So I've got the Australian gum leaf chai here, and this one looks a little bit like this.
Yeah. So those big pieces you can see, that's the strawberry gum leaf.
Yeah, I love that I can see the different leaves in there. And this one I haven't dropped because it's still in the pot.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, great. Well, that is looking really good. That's
Yeah. So it's been
really
sitting there. I only just put the water before we started, so only a few minutes.
Is it the first time you're trying it?
Mm-hmm. Ooh, that's different.
Different.
It's almost like I get a taste at the back of my palate instead of at the front of my palate, which I find with the other two.
So with that one is that we base it on an Australian grown green tea here. And it's a very low caffeinated tea because it's made from the stalks and the stems of a sencha. So it's not the sencha leaf. So it's a very neutral taste. And then the strawberry gum that comes in there it's very berry-like. So it's not necessarily strawberry, it's more of the berries. And it's just that fruitiness. And then the cinnamon myrtle that we use. And then you've got the actual the real cinnamon from the cinnamon bark, which kind of helps to elevate that cinnamon myrtle as well as complementing that strawberry gum.
It's definitely fruity, but it's not sweet.
Yeah. I think the cinnamon,
nearly borderline. I don't know if it's because of the way I blend it, but it's nearly borderline, just a tinge of being slightly bitter, but not unbearable. More like gives it the right kind of kick. Yeah.
You have to be careful with that one because you only need a teaspoon. It goes a long way, and it shouldn't be brewed really for more than 3 to 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Otherwise it will, like with any tea, the longer you leave it, the more it will. But this one, because it's a low caffeinated and a low tannin tea, you won't taste that as much if you brewed it for the same time as a sencha, for instance, in terms of bitterness. But that one is gorgeous when you've just brewed it at perfection, which is just boiled water just for 3 minutes, I would say would be max. You wouldn't want it anymore.
Yeah.
And then you can always rebrew with that, so you can pour more hot water over it.
Yeah, no, it's very, very nice. I've had 5 different teas this morning, so I'm loving my tea break. While you sip on your tea, I'm going to really quickly run through what our spice box has been about, because I don't think you've had a chance to see it yet either. So we created this because we wanted to do an in-home experience, because we generally do tours and cooking classes, and everything that we do is culturally related. And so I was thinking, what can we do that we can go into people's homes but still give them an experience? And so we created this spice box, which has got 15 spices from around the world, with a little recipe book that gives you really quick and easy recipes that you could do with products that are in your pantry or something that you would generally buy in your shop. So it's not like a list of 15 other products that you have to go out and buy in order to make one dish. We want to keep it simple, but we want to give you the chance to play with spices. And so I really love, the cross way of how spices go in so many different things. So in our recipe book, it's mainly food, but then we've got like a jam at the back. And now that we've, done tastings with your tea, it's so interesting to see how spices are so versatile and can be used in so many different ways. And we've only managed to capture about 15 of them in here. So the box comes something like this. And we've got 15 different spices in there. But the part that I'm most excited about is not just getting the spice box, but the fact that you can go online and watch masterclasses on all of the spices. And really get that understanding of where they come from, how they're used in different cuisines, and what are the techniques of using them. So that's the part that I get really, really excited about, because it's really giving people the tools of experimenting with spices, just like we've got all of these different blends of teas, because otherwise you would just think of the few that you have been exposed to, not realizing that there's so many different flavors that you could have at different times that are going to give you different, feelings and give you different tastes.
Yes. No, I think that's fantastic. Exactly. And I think it's so important to have that understanding of how to use the spices, which is, those masterclasses are great. We also do little videos of how to brew your teas to perfection, and also just to give you advice on when to have your tea. So many people ask, well, what should I have in the morning? What should I have in the afternoon or the evening? And, that all depends on kind of how you're feeling and what sort of, energy level that you want. in terms of, you know, whether you want that ginger kick or you want the sort of, the original masala for us is, you know, our traditional one, which I say it's like our English breakfast basically.
Yeah.
So, and it's nice to see that, you know, you've got some of those spices in your box so that people can experiment if they need to with you know.
But maybe firstly, the videos that you're talking about, are they on your website or on your Instagram, or
so they're
where
on
can people do?
IGTV. We've got some workshops. We're actually working towards building them up. But in terms of just how to brew a traditional masala chai, we've definitely got them on our Instagram, IGTV, and they're actually, and now we're starting to integrate into the website. So we've got a YouTube channel where these will also be available to
Awesome.
access. So yeah, no, that's great. And also in terms of your spice box,
I was going to say, yeah, absolutely. So what I was going to say is maybe if we can grab some of the turmeric and raw honey ones from you, and then anyone who goes online and orders it and says Chai Room in on the way out, if you're buying a spice box, we'll throw in a tasting for the turmeric and raw honey. How about that?
Sounds fantastic. Yes, that's a great idea.
So I'll put it in the comments when this goes onto the IGTV, but it will be Chai Room on checkout, and you'll get a sample of one of the tea blends so you can try them at home as well.
Fantastic. That's great. It's been so lovely to have this conversation with you. I feel like we could just continue with this, you know, because obviously we have this same love for spice and just the way to integrate it into our everyday lives and our cuisine. So let's try and reconvene. Perhaps next time we'll do a little workshop. Maybe we can.
I think that's a great idea. Awesome.
All right.
Thank you so much. And if you missed the sections before this, don't worry, it will go on IGTV, and the Chai Room will put it up on their channels as well, so you'll be able to catch the whole little chai conversation this morning afterwards as well.
Excellent. Thanks so much, Himanshi. Take care. Have a lovely day.
Thanks. You too. Bye.
Take care. Bye.